Welcome back, horror fans, cinephiles, and Giallo enthusiasts. This is Tanner Leeser, your host for all things Giallo, here on The King and Giallo, and let's do an unscripted talking head movie review. This is for one of the very, very first Giallo films, one I covered earlier on the channel on the very first episode of the Forgotten Giallo film series, and that is Silvio Amadio's 1964-1965. I've seen it as both. Doesn't matter, but it's Assassination in Rome. And so I found this movie on YouTube, although it was in Italian, so I had to use the auto-generated subtitles, but it was also on Plex. So I actually, right when they started talking and I translated it, I was like, you know what, let me just see if Plex has if it's in English. And it was, so I just continued there watching it in English. So I actually watched this movie twice today because the first time, let me tell you, I'm just going to get right into it. This movie is pretty slow and it's kind of boring. And this is at least my first viewing of it. I was thinking, okay, it's very adjacent, very Giallo adjacent, very on the fringes. But of course, it's like, not only is it a 60s proto Giallo, but it's one of the first ones. So it felt like there wasn't a whole lot of ties to the genre itself, or was it at least what we think of the genre. But I can also say that when I got home, because I watched it while I was at work, really slow, so I was like, I can knock this out, I have time. But I rewatched it when I got home, and I actually had a better experience upon the second viewing. I was able to follow things a little bit more. I actually had it sped up too, so it was going at like 1.75 speed or something. Not quite double speed, but pretty damn fast. But it actually kind of helped the pacing, because instead of it being, an hour and 39 minutes or whatever the movie is, it was more like, it was like 45, 50 minutes. It was actually just kind of flowed better. But again, that's not something I recommend to do on your first viewing for the movie. It was, for me, it was just kind of like, I got to the end and I was thinking, what? Okay, let me watch that again and see if just kind of follow. And it wasn't like, oh, the movie really got me, it really surprised me. It was like, again, it was just like, I wasn't really paying attention. I was really trying. This is a movie where also it wasn't the best sound or picture quality. I think it was like, what was it, 360p or something. It was really bad, and it looked like it was in a cropped frame rate, or aspect ratio, I mean to say, where there was at least two shots that I couldn't tell if this is the way it was shot, or if it was like undeniable proof that, like, no, this is being cropped. Okay, plot. Get right to this. This is gonna be a really short video. Opens with this woman calling the U.S. Embassy. She's in Rome, and she's trying to find out information about her husband, who seems to have gone missing. And they can't really help her, at least not right now. And then we cut to is it the Trevi Fountain? The big fountain in Rome. There's this drunkard guy, and he was having a little moment, kind of like Deep Red, and finds this other guy sitting at the fountain, just kind of slumped, and turns out that guy's dead. So the police show up, and the dead guy's name is Mario, and he has a thing of heroin on him. And so now it turns into this investigation of, like, who is this guy? What's going on here? Why this? As well as Shelley trying to find out where her husband is. And the main character we have is Dick Sherman, who is an American who's been living in Rome for many years now, and he works for the newspaper. And in order to get stories, he works with the police, and he works with the embassy, he works with whoever will give information in exchange for some sleuthing. And that was something I actually kind of overlooked the first time, in terms of, there's not really a whole lot of Giallo ties. And it's like, no, wait, there actually are. There's an American living abroad who is a reporter, who is an amateur sleuth. Like, that's a pretty big one right there. And he does get involved in some things he shouldn't be. He recognizes the name Shelley North. He's like, wait, I know her. And so he meets with her, and they haven't seen each other in a long time, and there's supposed to be chemistry between them, but there is not. There's absolutely not between these actors. And he agrees to try to help her find her husband. And he's looking into it, and he clearly was involved in some things. and the dead guy Mario with the heroin, they found out that he at least knew, what's the husband's name? Bill. They know he at least knew Bill North, but they don't know for certain if Bill North knew this guy. So it's like, how are they acquainted? So again, the first time watching this was just kind of really hard to keep focusing. I was more interested in my phone, but rewatching it, it was the investigation made a lot more sense, obviously, because I was watching it closer. But still, it's very slow. It's a little bit of a investigation and procedural, but the way it's shot is just not very exciting. It did remind me a little bit of The Girl Who Knew Too Much. It definitely feels a little less Giallo and a little bit more kind of like an old James Bond movie, sort of, although not overtly like dealing with spies. But there's no violence in terms of, well, there is, but it's not violence like what we associate with the Giallo genre. It was way more like kind of old 50s 60s spy stuff, like two guys would get into a tussle and it's very like terribly choreographed, and then a guy gets like an axe handle, like, hit like and then the guy's like knocked out cold for hours, and that type of stuff where you're like, oh god, this shit. And then there's practically no sleaze, no sex. There is a part where Dick goes in to talk to this one guy. He's trying to get information about the drug underworld, see if maybe he can talk to anybody who knows Mario. And he talks to a friend that I guess had a habit at one point. And the guy, when we come in, there's a naked woman from the back, but she's still very tastefully kind of covered up, and he's drawing her. So she's like his muse. She's actually not even drawing her. That's the funny thing. It's like, what are you drawing and why is she posing? But there's that, and then there is a character who is a prostitute who you see a few times with these two, like, comedic relief fool robbers or something. It was, there was also some attempt at comedy in this movie, and it never really landed all that much. There was a few things that kind of got like a but that was it. There was an interesting bit with this guy who was a crime lord, Charles Malicia, I think that was his name. I think they said he was like also in America, and then he got sent back after the war, and he's kind of embedded with high society. He throws a party because he's trying to talk to Dick because he's been doing some sticking his nose where it doesn't belong type of stuff. Honestly, it's like I said, it's fine. When I first watched it, I was thinking this might be one of the worst ones I've ever seen. When I rewatched it, I did like it way more than I did upon the first viewing, but how much I enjoyed it really can only go up so high based off of how much I didn't like the first time watching it. I'm glad I did rewatch it. Things kind of fell into place a little bit more. It's also funny. There's a part early on when Dick is investigating that he talks to this old guy in like a dark room, and like the guy is like obscured in darkness. It's like you can barely see him, and you're like, wow, it looks like he's talking to someone in a rubber mask. And well, maybe this person comes up again later, and it's, oh my god, the movie has one of the most like Scooby-Doo endings, and it's got one of the worst chases. Here, I'll spoil this. This woman that we've been close to in this movie, she's like the second woman. It's a friend of Dick's, played by Eleonora Rossi Drago, who appears later in The Folds of the Flesh. She's very like flirtatious with Dick, and I think she's also an American. She might also be a reporter or a journalist or something. I don't really remember. It doesn't super matter, but she's the one. And it's just revealed in the most, like I said, the most Scooby-Doo way, where you see the what looks like the old guy that Dick was talking to earlier in the movie, and you're just looking like, is that a woman in like a rubber mask? Because the way this character is like running around is just like, that is I've never seen a guy move like that before, and so I'm like, I think that might be a woman, and yeah, that face, it doesn't look real, and so yeah, this person shows up to try and kill the husband. They find the husband, by the way, and he's like catatonic. He's been beaten, tortured, and so I guess they're trying to silence him before he comes to and starts talking. And all they really know is, oh, there's something about a red dress. And then near the end of the movie, they find the red dress and they find the area where he must have been tied up and tortured. The movie's kind of all over the place. Like I said, even watching it twice, there was still times where I'm like, oh, wait, what's going on again? What's happening? It's not the worst Giallo I've seen. There's certainly some others that I've seen that are even harder to get through. This one was fine. It does have some of the tropes. It does have there's even a woman who's revealed to be the killer, quote unquote, which was like, oh yeah, that's a very Giallo thing we see, where it's like, playing with the whole gender thing. Anyways, yeah, and then like I said, one of the most boring chase scenes. And then the girl, the person in the mask stumbles backward on a roof, falls through a glass ceiling, and it's just the most obvious mannequin. Like, the legs are like bend at the most unnatural way. Yeah, that might be the first time that a body fell from a roof in a Giallo. Also, I haven't seen 24 Hours of Terror. That'd be the other one I need to see, because that's the other oldest one after The Girl Who Knew Too Much. But yeah, sorry, I really am blabbing or just kind of word vomiting on this one. There's not a lot to say. It's not a deep movie. Yeah, it's you can check it out. It might still be on YouTube. It might still be on Plex. There is a DVD double feature with this and another movie that I did talk about in the Forgotten Giallo Films episode 1 when I covered this movie. I can't say that. Maybe the other movie is better, the something Tangiers, but this was just not that great. And I mean, I'm glad I watched it, but yeah, it's just not good. Also, the movie will do this thing where it ends a scene where it's like the characters will be in tableau as it kind of like fades to the next scene. And there's a part where, right before the big reveal, where Eleonora Rossi Drago is kind of like, "Oh, I'll do this, and but you need to like work on that thing for me." And she gets all like flirty, and she's up like on Hugh O'Brien, and then it's like they tableau as it starts fading, and she goes, she looks at the camera like, good? Is that good? You got the shot? But it was so funny because it was like, they kept it in. They didn't like, I would have tried to have like faded faster or something, or just hard cut. But I'll throw it up so you can see it. But it's so funny because she's literally like in tableau, in tableau, in tableau. You got it? Like, she doesn't say it, but that's what she's saying with her eyes. It's just like, right? Good? Did you get the shot, Silvio? Okay, so the main reason why I also am watching this and doing this right now is because I will all of a sudden be covering a bunch of Silvio Amadio Giallo films, because the next one I will be doing a Jolly Tally for after Solange is Smile Before Death, which is his fourth, which I'm like, fourth? What other ones did he do? Well, Assassination in Rome, and then No Man's Island, also called, what is it, the Island of the Swedes. I tried watching that one. I tried finding it. I don't know if I had any success. I may have actually found it, but it looks like it's on a Russian website. Yeah, I looked up the Italian, L'isola della Svedesi, 1969 English is what I Google searched, and I did come up with the second result, m.ok.ru caret video, and it's all written in Russian. Yeah, the website's all Russian. I searched for it while I was at work, but I've learned my lesson with Russian websites like this. Do not open them while I'm at work, because all of a sudden in the banners and the corners, the ads are all porn usually, and you click play and it's just a porn ad. And so I was like, yeah, I'll check it out later. I'll check it out right now and see if this actually works, just in case anybody is interested. And this was uploaded in September 9th, 2022. Oh, it looks like it works. Sound? Is there any sound? Let me see if this is in English. Okay, it's in Italian, and it doesn't. I'm not sure if there's English subtitles. I'll have to keep looking, but it is what it is. Anyways, so yeah, that's the second Silvio Amadio film, and then when I do the Forgotten Giallo films episode, whatever, which is going to be 1972 part 2, covering 6 films. I'm lumping a bunch of them in because I'm like, I'm not going to do like 2 here and then cover a Jolly Tally movie and then do another one and then do another on the Jolly Tally and then do another one. I was like, fuck it, I'm just taking all of those and just putting them in one video. So there's gonna be 6 films. One of those 6 films will be the third Silvio Amadio Giallo, which is Amok. And some people have said, oh, can you do a Jolly Tally for Amok? Yes, I can. Can you buy me the movie? Have you seen Assassination in Rome? If you have, what are your thoughts on the movie? Did you enjoy it more than I seem to have? Did you think it was crap? What? Anywhere in between. If you're going to try to watch it, like I said, YouTube. It's also on Plex. Just look up Assassination in Rome, 1965 or 1964, or Silvio Amadio, full stream, whatever. Usually you should be able to find it pop up. Some people ask me like, hey, can you send me the link? It's like, just look for it. Like, oh my God. Like, I'm looking for, like I said, this No Man's Island right now, and I might find it, but I mean, I have to look for it. So I could try dropping links, but the thing is, some of the links disappear. Like, so I might send it, and then all of a sudden the video might get taken down or something, or the link will be corrupted. I don't know. But anyways, that is all I've got to say for Assassination in Rome. It's really not really worth a whole lot of my time. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I'm not better than these filmmakers. But anyways, that is all I've got to say. This is Tanner Leeser for The King and Giallo, and nothing else. I will see you next time.
Hey, Charlie. Party's really great, you know? Pretty good. And it's funny how many respectable people are here.
Maybe you better stop, Morris. You've already had too much to drink, and you're an idiot when you're not drunk.